Hello everyone, this is a psychic reading on the President of Saudi Arabia named Mohammed Bin Salman. I might be mispronouncing that. Salman, I don't know. Salman, I'm going to guess. Mohammed, I know that's his first name. Anyways, the President of Saudi Arabia. So, what came up when I was reading him was an image of him being like bigger than the earth and him hammering this stone into the earth to leave his mark, and it was kind of like he was leaving his essence or his presence there. And these were stones, which are very, well, like the saying, like to carve something into stone. There's something about him being the son of someone important and wanting to carry on the family name. Now, after I wrote this, I actually did go ahead and look him up and read a little bit about him. And I guess his father was someone of a similar name who, he obviously he took the power from his father when his father passed away, I believe. Anyways, this is something he feels destined for because of lineage. He sees the U.S., and when I say this, what I mean is that kind of like power that he has. He sees the U.S. as a threat and doesn't like the U.S. because it crushes his pride. He is trying to trick the U.S. into crumbling beneath his knees. He feels he is being pulled forward to his destiny, which is that of a golden god-like status of power. So when things get in his way, it puts immense pressure on him, and he feels almost as if he is going to pass out, thinking about the obstacles. Almost like it's just like too much to think about. He just can't handle it. He wants to strike his enemies down with the power of a god, and is coming to terms with the idea of not being able to do that anymore. Not only does he see the power structure of his competitor, being the U.S., crumbling in the future, or at least weakening. Crumbling may be an extreme word, but he sees it as the power crumbling from his perspective. But also, all the international global control that he once stood upon for power is also crumbling in his eyes. Not to ashes, but no longer as authoritative. He doesn't trust China, and he seems to think Russia is the only option left in town for maintaining some level of power economically in the world. He is reluctant to work with Russia, however, but it seems his only option. This seems new to him and foreign, that is, working with Russia. I don't know if he's worked with Russia in the past or not, but there's something that just seems like he doesn't know how to proceed with doing so. This is making him more humble. He is waking up to the cooperative spirit of humanity and starting to feel how he can trust other people to take care of him if he just has more faith in the goodness of humanity. Again, kind of like the trust fall. A lot of power and felt ecstatic, kind of like this ecstatic feeling of power and exuberant with his ability to do whatever he wanted for the most part. This seems to have been a part of his past that has faded away and is completely gone now, for the most part. He is becoming wise now. Like now he seems he has just gotten some wisdom from his past mistakes, I guess you could call them. And he's making very good decisions that work in his favor financially. He may actually be making some of the best decisions when I look at all the different countries around the world that are making decisions. It seems like his decisions actually work for him and pay off in the future, whereas many other decisions people are making are not so much. He seems to turn away from Russia for the most part in the future, despite kind of seeking them out currently. But he is still allied with them and doing trade with them. And it seems to be kind of like just like a common place, like autopilot thing that just continues, that he may be setting up more of right now, actually. But kind of once he gets to a point, it seems like he kind of hits a wall with it, and he's like, okay, well, we've reached these agreements, and we're doing this, and this is working. All right, we'll just let that run on autopilot and just leave it alone and do other things. Even with the falling of the power of the U.S., he still seems to be working with these companies, but he is less invested in them, and slowly they fade away as time goes on into the future. However, they seem to remain in the background, regardless. He doesn't care about some of the agendas and future outlooks that many other leaders and countries are invested in. He simply wants to make money and have power for himself and his country. He is eager to work with many countries that have economic outlook plans for the world, if it works in his favor, but he is not invested in the outcome himself. Many of the technocratic and progressive philosophies do not interest him. His goal is simply to be powerful. He seems to be separating a little bit from the powers that be and almost going rogue on some level. This is not that he is going against the international power structure he was once part of, or kind of working with or feeding off of or using their power structure for his power, maybe is a better way of putting it. But on some level, he was part of it. However, he is starting to be his own man, his own person, and thinking more for himself and what is in his own best interest. So he can be seen as being tricky by the international powers that he once bowed down to. And I also see, I see a lot of potential for him to be called out and kind of demonized in the future, especially by the mainstream media and by the U.S. and by kind of like the international powers that he's obviously rebelling against and kind of going rogue on. Regardless, him doing that seems to work out very well for him in the future, and he seems very smart and very wise with what he's doing, and kind of like he is maybe a little tricky and outsmarting everyone else, but that's just the game of politics, so, you know, hard to really condemn him when that literally is kind of the whole game to begin with. So, I don't know. I'm not going to say what's right or wrong here.
That's the video for now. If you would like to watch the full video, you can watch the full video on my Patreon page. The link will be below this video. Only $5 to join. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.